What's up, guys and gals? Welcome to the next episode of our weekend review. My name is Splatterchat. I'm happy to have you here today as we hang out for a little bit and talk about the comings and goings at the channel. I don't have a whole lot of topics to talk about today. Not really a whole lot of things lined up, although I am planning on making this more like it was last week, where we pick like a topic and we talk about it. But anyways, this week it's Valentine's Day, and of course that means that you're going to have swooning people running around everywhere. Everything is for some reason painted red, and of course everything has been put into the cardioid shape. But that's not important right now. What we need to talk about is things that are going to change on the channel over the coming week. And so we've got some stuff coming up, and I wanted to talk about it, maybe give you guys like a brief update on where things are going and how they're moving around to make sure that everybody is on the same page when things get dropped. So Neo Scavenger is going to be finishing up in 3 or 4 days, as I drop probably by the end of the week, actually. Probably by, I would say, probably by the 20th, it'll be over. I'm not really sure how many episodes I have left to air. I know I've got maybe 5 or 6. But it's finished. That's totally done. I'm done recording it. I finished it 2 or 3 days ago. Going to start dropping the episodes pretty soon. I hope that everybody's enjoyed this series. It will be on its way out after this, but it's been a lot of fun. It's a game that I've always wanted to cover for a long time, and I'm happy that we got like a good playthrough going through. We got several good lives running through the game, learning how everything works, starting from ignorance and ending and basically knowing how all the systems work and how everything functions. Darkest Dungeon. We'll probably kill off 1 or 2 more bosses with Darkest Dungeon, then let it go, because as it stands right now, there's essentially just like you kill the bosses, and then there's like recolored hard mode versions of them, and you just do the same thing over and over and over again. And so I figure we'll do like probably Swine Prince. We'll probably do all the apprentice bosses and then bossesses. That seems like I may have over pluralized that. Bossesses, the bossesses. But anyways, with Darkest Dungeon, we'll probably have, well, we've got to kill the hag, and we've got to kill the Swine Prince, and then after that, I think it starts repeating. Then you have, like, the Necromancer, whatever, like the normal Necromancer, and then you have, like, the Swine Lord, and then you have instead of the hag, she's called, like, the Something Witch, but they're basically, like, recolors of the same thing, I think? I don't know, I'll have to look it up and take a look, but I figure since their names are kind of similar, they're probably just, like, reskins. If they're not, well, hey, I guess we'll keep playing the game till we get further. But for right now, getting things taken care of, this week's Weekly Indie Newcomer was Druid's Duel. An interesting little game that sort of surprised me. I like board games, though, so that's probably where a lot of that went. I really enjoy board games, and so I figured, I'd play it this week. It was a game that I got some enjoyment out of, and I figured I'd show it off, considering it was by a small team, and I felt like they deserved the recognition. Not sure what's going on with Dying Light. We're probably going to be doing that one for quite some time, out and about, just kind of like getting things done. I think that as it stands right now, I'm having a blast with the game. I wish I had more time to record it, and I wish I had more time to get things done in it. As of right now, I'm sitting and recording it in like big batches just so that I can stay ahead of our recording schedule because I have too many games running. But I think once Neo Scavenger and Stranded Deep get done later on this week, we should be about ready to take on some other things. The thing that will be replacing Stranded Deep is going to be a game called, it's like a Viking survival game. It actually looked pretty badass. It seemed like one of those, so it looked like Skyrim meets Stranded Deep. Like, I don't know how else to describe it. It's like one of those games that essentially it's like in a fantasy world, like a high fantasy world. So it's going to be like zombies. It's first person. It looks a lot like Skyrim meets Stranded Deep. And so this one, the point is to like level up, find gear, like build things, but still like survival is the key. And so I'm excited about playing it, but I wanted to get the name of the game up and running before we go any further. But yeah, as of right now, we've got a couple things leaving, and I think that that's a good thing. I think that we've gotten into a little bit of a slump. I've been thinking about what I want to replace the series that are going elsewhere. I haven't really come up with anything just yet. I was vaguely debating quite possibly starting up Zomboid again, but I'd like to start practicing it. We should have Victor Vran coming up pretty soon. Victor Vran, I'm going to be playing with Christopher Odd and Blitz Kriegler, so that should be a collab. So if you're into either one of those two YouTubers and you dislike me, well, you can show up for them. You can show up for them. I mean, that's the plus side. You've got like a 2 for 3 right there. So 2 out of 3 is not too bad. I mean, it's still like a D+. I guess if you're in school, 2 out of 3 is not so good, but I don't know. I'll take a 2 out of 3 over like a 1 out of 3. That seems pretty good. Lots and lots of fun stuff coming out, though. Let's see here. What was the name of that game? I know it's here somewhere. It's on this list in front of me, and I will gaze my view upon it, and then I shall declare it as the thing that we are playing. We're going to be playing, where is it? It's here. I know it's here. Well, either way, it seems to have vanished somewhere. I don't know if they took it off the Steam list. That would be disappointing because I already factored it into my schedule. I was all ready to go, but there's Towncraft coming out. I'm pretty excited about that. We'll probably fiddle with it a little bit, and yeah, maybe it got pushed back. Hell if I know. I mean, they're filling out the list right now, so things are kind of like moving around, but who even knows? Either way, there's like a Viking survival game coming out pretty soon, and I can't find the name of it. I already talked to the developers, and so we should be covering it. It comes out in February at some point. However, it looks like it's been taken off the Steam list for now. It's not here. It's not here. That's what I get for not writing things down and being. Oh, Savage Lands. There we go. It's scheduled to come out on the 20th, from what I can tell, or maybe the 19th. The game doesn't have a concrete release date right now, so they moved it up, actually. It was further back in the month a couple days ago, and so I guess it got moved up by a week or two, and that's why I couldn't find it. So Savage Lands is what we're going to be trying out. I'm hoping that it's going to be pretty fun. It should be something, so if you guys have like a survival itch, we have survival games disappearing, but we should have new survival games coming up, and I think that's going to be pretty swell. I think that's going to be pretty swell. So in the interest of keeping the episode short, because I have been trying to streamline these, it is Valentine's Day today. And so like in my personal life, I managed to get out. We went out to Rockville State Park. It's pretty fun. Hung out. It's on the back end. If you don't know where Rockville State Park is, it's kind of like on the back end of like Fairfield and Vallejo. It's like out there. But they cleaned it up a few years ago. It used to be a place where teenagers went to like smoke pot, have sex out in the bushes, and then for junkies to go like hang out in caves and do heroin. And then like the park services came through and like put a big fence around it and cleaned it up. And now there's like there's not state troopers, that's the wrong word. There's not staties running around. There are park rangers running around everywhere now, and it's actually turned into kind of like a nice place to go with the family. And so we went out, we hiked. I put some of the pictures up on the Facebook. So if you wanted to check out what I did with my Valentine's Day, I cuddled some rocks, I hung out, I did some diagenesis, I looked at some rhyolite. It was a lot of fun. It was pretty cool. I got to spend time with the people that matter to me, went out to dinner with the family, and so it was pretty cool. And so I wanted to utter a few words in honor of Valentine's Day up in the front. I know that there's like this big like anti-Valentine's Day thing going on, and I get it, but there's two separate messages here. And so the first message is, on Valentine's Day, obviously a lot of people have like raised the allegation that this is like a corporatist holiday that should be ignored entirely because it's a blatant grab for resources. I disagree with that statement. I think first and foremost, you don't have to spend money to have a good Valentine's Day. I don't think that that's necessary at all. Valentine's Day is all about showing appreciation, whether it's romantic or not, for the people that matter in your life. And I always I'm a happy person. I try to be happy anyways. And so if I've got a reason to celebrate, hey, there's a reason to celebrate. People in my family this year weren't doing anything on Valentine's Day. We all went and got dinner. It was a good time. We got the family together, and that was our way of celebrating the back end of Valentine's Day. It was a lot of fun. Got to spend time with people, make them feel a little bit better. Everybody was kind of broke up and like at their own houses, either working or kind of like extended, I suppose, cut off from their significant other on Valentine's Day. And so, hey, we went out and had a little bit of a dinner as a family, got each other's spirits all taken care of, enjoyed some amazing Mexican food, and that was that. And so the two messages for Valentine's Day are, along the allegation that Valentine's Day should not be a holiday, I think that a holiday where you show appreciation for people you care about sounds perfectly fine to me, romantic or not. That's the stipulation I would add. Why does Valentine's Day have to be limited to just relationships? Romantic relationships aren't the end-all be-all. If you can make somebody's day better on Valentine's Day and let them know they're appreciated, hey, that's good enough for me as well. And so there's three messages, actually, I suppose, now that I'm starting to like do the mental arithmetic. That's the first one. So we've already got one out of the way. Let's move on to the next two. The first one, taken care of. Second one, single people. Single people, don't get bummed out about Valentine's Day. I know that sometimes like people, especially when you're like single, people start like mounting up, like on Valentine's Day, your mom will hit you up and be like, so when you're gonna meet a girl? Like, I get that, and I think that's why there's like that big push against Valentine's Day. That and just like the blatant sort of like corporate whoring of like the whole Valentine's Day experience. I think that corrupts people too, though. Like, everybody has like this expectation of what you're supposed to do on Valentine's Day, and I don't support that. Valentine's Day should be special between you and whoever. Do whatever means a lot to both of you, but don't let the supermarket tell you that you have to have chocolates and you have to have wine and you have to have all these things. Do something that matters to you. Don't do what like the whole like establishment tells you to do with the holiday. Make it your own. Personalize it. Misery can be a choice sometimes. And, you know, if you don't have a significant other, go out to dinner with your mom, or go out to dinner with your grandma. Go out to dinner with a really, really good friend, or, you know, not even go out to dinner. Just spend a day having a hike like I did. Just like celebrate it in your own special way. You don't have to spend money or buy into like this whole like random red tinfoil and flowers ordeal. But if you're single, I get it. I get why there's a push against Valentine's Day, but I'd say to hang in there. I mean, romantic relationships aren't like the end-all, be-all of life. I mean, one of the things I found as I've gotten older anyways, and here we go, I'm going to give you my old man advice, kids, is just like defining your life by the relationship or lack thereof that you're in is kind of like a dangerous, slippery slope, because it puts you underneath like false pretenses all the time. So you start like analyzing yourself like, oh, why am I not in a relationship? Is there something wrong with me? Am I not like going after it well enough? Am I not confident enough? Nah, it's not any of that. Sometimes you're just not in a relationship because that's not the place you are in life. Being single is pretty sweet. Like, it's one of those things, like, you should enjoy your single time, just like you should enjoy your relationship time. Being single comes with its own special constraints and its own benefits. So does being in a relationship. It has constraints and benefits as well. Both has their upsides and downsides. So if you're single on Valentine's Day, treat yourself. Have a good day, watch a movie, have a good time, play some online games, invite some friends over, brighten each other's spirits. Make Valentine's Day your own. Don't let expectations get you down. For the people that are in relationships, a second message for you here on Valentine's Day. Enjoy your time with your loved ones. Like I said, you can make Valentine's Day yours. You can move it around. You can do whatever special function you want to do on Valentine's Day. But if you have somebody that you are romantically entangled with, by all means, let them know how much they mean to you. Use it as a day to just be like, hey, I appreciate you. You are a treasure to me. Unless you're in a terrible relationship. And then just like hang out for a minute and be like, maybe I should jump over to the single fence. You can do it. I believe in you. I'm not trying to give bad advice right now. I'm just trying to get like everybody on the inside of the fence. I tried on Valentine's Day, just like personalities a little bit. Make sure the people in your life know that you care about them and just do something a little special for them. And that's that. You don't have to do it because of the holiday. February 14th by no means constrains you to doing something nice for people. Go do it on the 17th. Go do it in March. Do nice things all the time for people. Single or together, though, I think there are things to enjoy on Valentine's Day. You can customize it. You can make it your own. And so that's just sort of like my little message. I definitely think there's pressure from all these different various marketing departments trying to make you feel like if you don't do Valentine's Day a certain way, that you've done it wrong. There's no wrong Valentine's Day. The original Valentine's Day is attributed to St. Valentine. I think I looked it up just to find out before the video, not before the video, but this morning. And St. Valentine's Day began because there was a guy named Valentine who was, I think, in jail, and he sent a letter to his daughter, as I recall, and the letter cured like her blindness or something like that, and that's how he got sainthood. And so the original St. Valentine's Day, as christened, was not even like a romantic thing. As far as I can tell, it was just a father showing love for his daughter, and it cured her eyesight, supposedly. And so, getting back to basics here, and then if you take it back to Roman times, it gets even crazier with people like sacrificing goats and getting all wild and crazy out, because you know how them Romans do. You know how they did back in the day. I've been watching Spartacus lately, and I know it gets a little bit debauched up in there. Anytime a holiday is described as ancient Roman, you're like, oh, it got super wild. I know it did. I don't even need to look it up right now. I bet all kinds of like stuff was going on. They were just running trains on each other and like throwing gold up in the air and just like drowning in wine. They were big ones for the hedonism. I can respect that. You got to get your jollies in. They lived in a time period where you could die of your tooth rotting out. So you figure you got to get joy where you can find it. Either way, let's go ahead and let's do a little QA section real fast on the back end of this video. I didn't really have a whole lot prepared today, as you might be able to tell. I'm a little bit rambly, but I just wanted to throw that out there for Valentine's Day. Just let people know, If you're single, it's not that bad. There are bonuses to being single. There are definite bonuses to being single. If you're in a relationship, that's pretty cool too. Tell the person they're a treasure and that you appreciate them and enjoy your benefits there as well. I just want to make everybody feel like, it's not that big of a deal. Let me see here. There's actually, because the last video was the abuse video, because that was like a real big thing for me. That was kind of like one of those sit down and breathe moments where I really, really needed to like figure out a way to address this, or at least do some small thing in order to address it. I don't think there's a whole lot of Q&A questions right there. I don't think I really got, I don't think I got people, with that video, I don't think I got people lubed up real well for happy conversation. That was kind of a little bit of a downer video. Where in the hell? I keep a little file right here, but honestly, there we go. I have a little file with all of my questions inside of it, and you would think that I would like tab all of these things, but because I'm an unprofessional oaf, I just kind of like leave it all over the place. Let's see here. Let's find ourselves a couple of questions. Do you have any clothing with Splattercat as a logo on? I actually don't even have a logo in the first place. What I was thinking about doing is I actually need to, as an announcement in this video, I need to get into contact with artists. I have been thinking about starting up a merchandising line, something to sort of like unify everybody underneath the collective, I don't know, Nerd Castle type deal, like Nerd Castle gear to go with the fact that people are hanging out here. I wanted to get together with artists though, and I wanted to actually hire artists in a fair sense and kind of draw up, not contracts, I guess. I guess it would have to be, actually, if money's going to be involved. But anyways, I wanted to get into contact with artists who are good at drawing nerdy stuff and just kind of coming up with designs and things like that that really sort of embody the Nerd Castle, and then also making sure that they're fairly compensated for the work that they've done on behalf of the Nerd Castle. If we end up selling shirts with somebody's work on it, I want them to be rewarded for coming up with this cool piece of artwork that people want, that now signifies the Nerd Castle as a place where we can all hang out with each other. And so it's all, I respect artists, and I understand how difficult it is because I was in a touring band for a while. I get how hard it is in order to make a living doing a thing that you love. And so if I can support people who are getting down with them pencils or them paintings and make it a little bit better and try and take some, pain off of their their monthly bills and their monthly debt, then that's what I'd like to do. If I can set somebody up, and they can get a cut of every shirt sold or whatever like that to make sure that they are being properly rewarded for their life's work, I get to go on the internet every single day and play video games. Like, I get to do the thing that, like, I dreamed about doing every day and earn a living doing it. And so now that I'm at that point, I want to help other people earn a living doing the thing that they love to do. And so I need to sit down and I need to get it all on paper, but I will make the announcement here that I am looking for somebody to rebrand the channel. I'm looking for artwork. So like new banners, new avatars, kind of like things that people can submit. And then also I am looking to find artists who would like to work together on getting some shirts and getting some sweatshirts and getting some like stickers, bumper stickers and logos and things going so that I can actually, start selling shirts and things like that, because it seems like there's a demand. I get that question like a lot. People asking if I have like a store or like an Etsy or something that we can sell stuff from. So there it is. Let's see here. We got to find ourselves another question. Well, that one already went by. That one right there. It's a little late for the question. Are you going to play Warhammer 40k Regicide? Let me look it up. Regicide, is that the one? No, there's one with Skaven coming out pretty soon. And then, let's see, I think that's End Times or Even Times or something like that. And what was the name of the game? Regicide. Okay. I knew it had some kind of like edgy heavy metal band sounding name. So Regicide appears to be a turn-based tactical. Oh, that looks pretty cool. Yeah, it'll probably get played. Oh, that logo is badass. Yeah. It might have to get paid. When does it come out? Actually, if it comes out, hell, if anytime soon, to be honest, we might check it out. I don't think, does it have a release date? Because it says the pre-sale right now has 1 day left. Hold on, what's going on here? We got to go to the About page and check this out. See, I really should vet these questions before I go through and like figure it out. It doesn't say a particular release date, does it? Let me Control F this particular thing and see what we can find here. Yeah, it doesn't have anything for release. I suppose that I could like Google it or something. We do have like this amazing tool in front of us that is useful. Let's see here. The release date appears to be, it's by Hammerfall Publishing, I guess. It looks like Q1 2015. Oh, so it could be coming out soon. I mean, honestly, there's a lot of games disappearing right now. I'll check it out. I'll definitely check it out. If it looks like some kind of, it looks like a board game of some sort, I guess. I don't know if they're going, it doesn't look like it's squad-based, though. It's actually got kind of like a chess thing going on. Maybe I'll try and splice in some pictures when I make this video, guys, so you guys can all see what it looks like. But yeah, I don't know. I'll check it out when it comes out, and I'll see if it's something that we can get like a small series up. Maybe something like we did with Mordheim up until that gets going. Let's see here. Are you going to play Project Zomboid again? Yes, indeed, at some point. Like, it's on my list right now, and actually it's looking like it might be sooner rather than later. I'm not sure. Can you show us your cats? I showed them on stream, but as of right now, I actually don't have them around. They're kind of like being grumpy and running around being douchey right now. Let's see. Sometime could you talk in depth about your experience as a geologist? Absolutely, I could do that. That seems like something that could be done. Oh yeah, I had a word of the day here. What was my word of the day? People said they wanted a word of the day, and I had one that I had gotten ready. I announced it on accident, and I'm probably going to butcher this word. Let's see here. I've got my little... I know this word is here somewhere. Where did I write it down? It might not be in that notepad. It might be... I've got like little notepads. Ah, there it is. Aleatory is our word of the week. I said I was going to do a word of the week. I might do it Wednesdays now, like a small video like 2 minutes long where we talk about maybe 3 words of the week. This week it's aleatory, which means aleatory is essentially... It's an adjective. You can say that a situation is aleatory, and that means that it's just a roll of the dice. You could be like, well, our business success seems to be somewhat aleatory. And so there you go. I might be pronouncing it wrong, but that's the word. A-L-E-A-T-O-R-Y, aleatory. And so there's your word of the day. I remember somebody asked about that, and I just remembered it along the lines of my experiences as a geologist. Yeah, I'll talk about it next week. That'll be our next video log. Since I got nothing lined up this week, I'll write it down, and it shall be so. We shall talk about science and other good and amazing things. I think it'll be fun. Will you be streaming Warhammer Quest? Doubtful. Maybe someday at some point. But as of right now, we're pretty locked down. We've got quite a few. Filler games, what do you have in mind? Filler games, what he's talking about here are like older games that really don't have like much of a modern audience, but at the same time, like they're games that I enjoy and so I want to play them. Filler games that I have lined up at the moment, I've got Don't Starve. I've got all of the Mass Effects because I've never played any of them except for the first one. Like I've got like a specific grouping of games that if there's ever time, I'd like to just throw out like little series on each of them. I'd like to do Dragon Age Inquisition, Dragon Age 2. Like, there's lots of games that, like, I've never gotten a chance to play. I think Prototype 2 is on that list as well. I'd love to do the Saints Row games. It just sort of depends, like, where we are at. I forgot a word right there. Where we at? Anyways, I forgot a word right there. So, yeah, I mean, sometimes you forget a word. Sometimes you forget a word and leave them behind. So, I think that that's pretty much what we're going to talk about today. I apologize for the short video, but unfortunately I'm a little bit behind the curve right now, and I wanted to give you guys some kind of video log for the week. But I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you appreciate my thoughts on Valentine's Day. If you don't, feel free to throw them back in my face in the most violent way possible, and I shall flinch and whimper and run away. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me here at the Nerdcastle for our next weekly indie. I think I've got the wrong series. Not weekly indie newcomer. Thank you for joining me for Weekend Review. I will see you all next Sunday. Hi to everybody.